Well, people who fail to chase their dreams or live up to their potential, maybe, is what we fall under the things that hold us back. And we want to break the invisible barriers so that we can achieve our best life. And for these people that didn't quite make it, it's not because they failed from a lack of ability. They failed because something invisible quietly held them back. And I see it a lot in athletics too. There's just something there that keeps an athlete from putting in the time. They fail because something invisible quietly holds them back. And they show up in different ways. Is it tangible? Well, no, not necessarily. For example, an invisible barrier could be, I'm going to start this next month. I'll start tomorrow. How many of you want to go to the gym and you're going to do it tomorrow, and then you never make it? Or you want to plan for something, but I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. When I was teaching broadcasting at college, that was one of the things that kept a lot of people off the air. Everybody wants to, go on the air, be a superstar, right? Okay, now it's your turn to perform. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Or maybe it's someday. Maybe someday I'll do that. Maybe someday I'll get around to that. I can't tell you how many times maybe someday was an excuse for a lot of people just in life. And then 10 years later, or in the case of baseball, nothing materializes. And so last episode, we talked about becoming the best version of ourselves. And today we're going to confront those things that stop us from getting there. And the number one barrier, and we've talked about it before on the show, is fear of failure. So just exactly, have you ever thought about that fear of failure? What does that mean? Well, the first thing you got to do is look at fear and how it operates psychologically. Now, what kind of fear are we talking about? No, we're not talking about afraid of the boogeyman or that thing under the bed or leprechauns chasing us for their pot of gold or somebody at a summer camp trying to off us. No, we're not talking about that, but we're talking about the fear that keeps us from chasing our dreams, from starting a business, from changing careers, creating something. And the first thing that comes to mind when we want to start something new is this safe? And that's what the brain does. Is it safe? And it's not really the threat to us, like I talked about, the boogeyman under the bed, but it's the risk of failure, the risk of embarrassment, the risk of rejection. It's that psychological risk that the brain starts to invest in that then becomes a silent barrier that then tells us, well, maybe someday, maybe next month, I'm just not ready yet. A big opportunity comes along. Are you ready? You're going to put something out there publicly. Are you ready? And it triggers the same alarm as danger does, that fight or flight. Because what comes up? When we face our fear, there isn't really a neutral outcome, is there? It jumps straight to, what if I fail? Remember, I don't know how it is. Maybe it's still that way today. I don't know. But you're going to ask somebody out. What if they say no? Yeah, true. But what if they say yes? What if people judge me? What if people commend you, congratulate you? What if I look stupid? Well, I don't know how you can really look stupid in society today. Just go to social media and you'll find plenty of people that look more stupid or stupider than you. But the brain is wired for a negative bias. And that's what the fear does to us, the fear of psychology or the psychological fear of failure. It prioritizes what goes wrong over what could go right. So instead of imagining success and growth and opportunity, we don't have success, we don't have growth, we don't have opportunity because we're embarrassed, rejected, or we have a loss. We go over and over, replay the loss. Oh, I should have said this, or I should have done that. I should have gone about it this way. Well, we've talked about it before. Failure is only this. You've learned another way or one way not to do something. So next time, do it a different way. But then ultimately, we talk ourselves out of action, right? What else does fear do in this fear of failure and the psychological risk of fear? Well, it questions us. Are we good enough? But what if we're not ready? What if other people are better? See, it questions us. We have full confidence knowing that we can get the job done or chase our dreams or accomplish whatever we want to. But then when that fear starts to creep in, we start questioning ourselves. And then we start to internalize things. And then we start to put that negative thought into action, like, I'm afraid to try. I'm just not that kind of person. So then our dreams don't become risky, they're just out of reach. We can't grasp them anymore. Fear also launches us into the not yet trap, which we've kind of talked about and touched on. Not now. I'll start later. I need more time to prepare. And that's reasonable, right? Yeah. We want to be prepared. We want to make sure it's the right time. But then that creates a pattern of perpetual delay. Are you in a pattern of perpetual delay? Are you continuing to put things off for whatever reason? You're putting things off because of your kids. You're putting things off because of your family. You're putting things off because you're close to retirement and you need max retirement. So you're putting things off. Weeks turns into months, months to years, and the next thing you know, your life has passed you by. That dream slowly fades. Not because you gave up, it's because you never fully started. Dream is slowly drifting away like the smoke of a cigarette, just disappears. Fear also shrinks your vision over time. At first, you dream big, and then from there, you get smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where maybe I'll just do it part time in my house as a hobby. Well, that's just not realistic, so I'm not going to do that anymore. So maybe I'll just give up on it. One of the hardest things to do, and I've seen it many times with students, especially in the radio business, especially in the podcast business. A lot of people want to do something, and that's great. And of course, the radio business is completely bastardized compared to what it was just even a few years ago when I was teaching more directly with students, trying to get into that business. But they would tell me they had all the passion in the world, they had all the drive in the world, they had everything, and they were going to make it. And they even had the talent. But then something, their friends, a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, something stopped them from doing it because it takes drive, it takes determination to keep something going. I'll put it off. Oh, I'll do an episode next week. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. I'll pick it back up next week. Next thing you know, weeks and weeks have gone by and you haven't done one. Now, sometimes that's because life happens. You have to work overtime. We get it. Life happens. But I'm talking about people that are letting fear shrink their dreams and eventually allow their dreams to float away. So then what happens? Well, have you ever thought about you wanted to do something, but you start getting this psychology of fear, fear of failure? And then what happens? Well, you don't fail your dream. Maybe you just lower the expectation, lower the standard. You lower your dream. Instead of having, and I did a podcast episode, dreams so big that it scares you. Now we're dreaming and it doesn't scare us at all. In fact, instead of a grandiose dream, maybe it's more of a daydream. And fear doesn't usually stop with one big decision. It stops with 1,000 small ones. Well, I'm just not going to apply right now. I'll start later. I'm not going to start now. No, I'm not going to share yet. You know how many people are going to draw something? I'm not going to show you yet. I'm not going to show you yet. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Or you just stop trying. Sometimes just stop trying can be the biggest thing that keeps us in that cycle of the fear of failure. So that's how fear operates psychologically. And we try to evolve out of that. And we try to face our fears. But how do you face the fears of the predators of today? Embarrassment, rejection, criticism. And you put something up on social media and there is criticism galore. There was this one gal, she's goth, white face, black clothes, makes watches. I don't know if this is her shtick because, again, social media, I don't really trust anything on social media. But there's a lot of negative comments about her product. She puts watches together and other things. And it's all goth style stuff. Not my cup of tea, but actually looks pretty cool. Now, I don't know if that's her shtick to try to get people to feel sorry for her and to buy her stuff. But it's criticism. It's criticism. People that don't do anything except go on social media and criticize are throwing things out there. And yet here's somebody that is putting together her dream and putting her dream out there. And that's what happens. A lot of times we get criticized by people who are binge watching whatever show on the weekend, and that's all they know how to do. So don't allow criticism. Don't allow the rejection of people that fail to dream anything. Don't let the rejection and criticism of people that mean absolutely nothing to you stop you. Apply for that job. Do that creative work. Write that music. Create that poetry. Maybe start writing that book or letting people read the manuscript. Get some feedback. Get that criticism. Hopefully it's constructive. But again, remember, what people say to you, you can control how it affects you. Take what you want, forget the rest. One of the things you do in English is peer review, right? In peer-reviewed papers, you write something and you send it out there, and then other colleagues or students or whatever your peers are, they will review it, criticize it. Hopefully that's constructive criticism, but they will tell you what's wrong basically with your paper. And then you take that back and you rewrite it and boom. Hopefully now you're good to go, right? But you've taken that constructive criticism and you've created it. You've created something better. So use that criticism, use that judgment, overcome that failure, use that failure. Okay. Didn't work this time. I know not to do it that way. Let's do it another way. And obviously the greatest analogy to this is sports, right? You look at Michael Jordan, all the game-winning shots he's made, or Kobe Bryant, all the game-winning shots he's made. It's always, winners want the ball, right? There was a story about Casey Jones and the Boston Celtics. He was a coach. They're playing a game, and the other team was keen on Larry Bird that was having a big game. The other team was winning down to the final shot, and Casey Jones draws up this play, and Larry Bird's going to be the decoy. And then Larry Bird looks at the coach and says, I'll make the shot. And then Casey Jones is like, okay, he'll make the shot. And they gave him the ball and he made the shot. But again, how many times did Larry Bird get the ball and not make the shot? Because we remember the successes a lot more than we do the failures, but it's the failures that get us to the success. I think I mentioned this last time. There's a poster somewhere I read where I think it's like a soccer player, maybe Messier or someone like that. And it says, it took me 17 years, 8 months, 10 days, and 12 hours to become an overnight sensation. Got to put in the work. Imagine the criticism, the judgment, the failure someone like that goes through to become an overnight sensation. But the great players keep shooting. The great players want the ball. So failure is not evidence that you should stop. It's evidence that you are trying.